Excuse me, I'm a police.
What? Police? The police officer suddenly came to my house. Next to him is a little girl I don't know and I have never seen before. Then the police officer started to make a surprising statement.
Your daughter was lost, so I brought her back here.
Huh? I don't even have a child, let alone a daughter. Being confused, I told the police officer the truth. I don't have a daughter. My name is Lisa. I am 34 years old and I work at a company. My husband, James, and I have been married for 7 years now. We met through work, and after dating for about a year, we got married. He's kind and dependable, and I was very happy in our marriage. Of course, I have some frustrations from time to time, but that's part of what makes me happy as well. My husband is 2 years older than me, so he thinks more maturely than I do, or rather, he can look at things from a bird's eye view. Because of his personality, he is able to quickly open up to anyone and get along with them since he's really an open-minded person. My husband seems to have been that type of person since he was in school, and he has a lot of friends. Since my husband's friends often come over to our house, I have become very good at making little snacks that are not too heavy and entertaining for them. My husband likes to drink, and it seems that similar people often gather around him, and they all eat the snacks I make, saying they are delicious and tasty. My husband thanks me for all my hard work, and I am happy that I am fulfilling my role as his wife. We were leading a peaceful and happy life. However, I had a little problem. It was about my mother-in-law, Astrid.
Lisa, when are you going to have a baby? It's been 7 years since you and James got married, and you are already 34 years old, right? I think it's about time you are at the end of your rope.
What do you mean by at the end of my rope?
It means that you should be divorcing James.
What? Why would I do that?
Because it's true, isn't it? You're not functioning as a wife in any way.
No way. Please, don't talk to me as if I'm like a thing to you.
I'm saying this for James' sake, you know. I'm his mother. If you keep on staying with him and you can't get pregnant with a baby, he will be the one who will be unhappy, you know. So, if you don't get pregnant within a year, I want you to divorce James.
Oh, no. Astrid was being very serious when she said that to me. When I think about Astrid's action and words up until now, she really meant what she said to me. Astrid, unfortunately, has been very harsh with me since the beginning of my marriage with James. Whenever we met, she would complain about anything, and one time she made me do all the food preparation for the family's New Year's party. At that time, my relatives were concerned about me and told Astrid about it, so from the following year onward, I was not asked to do everything by myself. Still, when my husband and I would go back home to his parents' place periodically, Astrid would verbally abuse me here and there. Most of the time, it was about my work or about getting pregnant. I had been married for 7 years, so I was beginning to get used to Astrid's verbal abuse. But even so, I was honestly perplexed by what she said this time.
What? My mother says something like that?
Yes, she did. It sounded pretty serious, so I got a little nervous. In the car, when we were returning home from my parents-in-law's house, I reported to my husband what my mother-in-law had said to me.
What she said is indeed too much. Don't worry too much about it. It's just a threat.
Oh, okay. I felt calmer because my husband said that, but I still couldn't shake the feeling of how uneasy I felt. After all, after being married for 7 years, it would be strange if I didn't have at least one child. My husband and I had talked about waiting for it to happen naturally, and we weren't doing any particular fertility or infertility treatment. But I wonder if it's time to start thinking about such things.
Huh? Oh no, there's no need for that.
But your mother...
So I told you, don't worry about it too much. Let's just wait for it to happen naturally, like we always have.
You think so? My husband really didn't seem to be in a hurry to have a baby, so I decided not to think too deep about it anymore. Then my mind was gradually calming down and I returned to my normal routine as before. I just had a busy season at work and started to focus on that, so I didn't have to think about my mother-in-law. Besides, my husband had business trips pretty frequently and often had to go during weekends as well. So the timing to have a baby was often not right to begin with, and it was hard to take that kind of time as well. Are you going on business trips a lot this month?
Yeah, there are a lot of projects I have to see physically.
I see.
Let's go out somewhere when we both have a day off.
Yes, let's do that. My husband is pretty laid back in a good way, so he often calms me down when I get flustered or impatient about some things. With him, I am sure that I will be able to raise a child with peace of mind even if we have a child. Well, it's difficult to get pregnant at the moment, but...
Well, I'm off then.
How long will it be this time?
Well, let's see. I'll be gone about 5 days.
I see. So you'll be back next Tuesday?
Yeah, that's about right.
You have to make sure to eat something healthy, okay? Don't eat junky food all the time.
You sound exactly like my mother. But I'll make sure to eat vegetables and stuff and eat healthy. All right then, I'm off.
Have a good trip. After seeing my husband off early in the morning with his suitcase, I started getting ready to go to work. I'll be alone for the next 5 days, so I'm going to work a lot of overtime and focus a lot more on my work. I'll just have quick, easy meals for dinner. I spent the period during which my husband was on business trips, living my life as I did when I lived on my own, before I got married. Then, on a Saturday, with about 2 days to go before my husband returned home from his business trip, the doorbell rang. So I opened the front door, thinking it was a delivery service or something.
Excuse me, I'm a police.
What? Police? The police officer suddenly came to my house. Next to him is a little girl I don't know and I have never seen before. I had no idea what was going on. Why was the police officer here, at my home? And who is this little girl? Then the police officer started to make a surprising statement.
Your daughter was lost, so I brought her back here.
Huh? What do you mean?
What? So I brought your daughter here.
The police officer was looking at me with a questioning look on his face. Well, I mean, even if he looks at me like that, I don't have a daughter, let alone a child. Being confused, I told the police officer the truth. I don't have a daughter.
What? The
police officer began to talk to the little girl.
Isn't this lady your mother?
And the little girl answered, No, she's not. The police officer was confused.
But this house here is your father's house, right?
I have no clue. I have never been to my daddy's other house.
Have you mistaken me for someone else? When I asked this to the police, he explained the situation with a concerned look.
Oh, actually, this little girl was lost, and when I asked her where she was from, she had this.
What? I was really shocked. It was my husband's driver's license.
The little girl told me that it was in the house and she was looking for her father with it. So I came with her because this is the address on the license.
Well, that man is my husband, but I did not know that a little girl like her existed. The police were even more confused when they heard my story.
I sincerely apologize, ma'am. We will look into it again on our end.
The police says so, but I wanted to make sure about something with the little girl. This driver's license was in your house, right?
Yes, I think my daddy forgot it.
Is your daddy home often?
Not every week, but he comes by every couple of weeks.
Is that just for one day?
No, he comes once and stays for about 3 or 4 days. But he is busy with his work, so he goes to work from other house during the rest of the time.
I see. After everything I had talked with the little girl, I sensed something. In other words, my husband had another family other than the family I had with him. The little girl is 5 years old and was born after my husband and I got married. To think about it, my husband is away right now on a business trip. That means he must have been at the little girl's house. Didn't you meet your daddy yesterday or the day before? Then the girl said something that shocked me.
My daddy and mommy went on a trip together since the day before yesterday. They told me to stay at home, but I got hungry because there's no food. I went outside since I was hungry and thought maybe if I went to my daddy's other house I could find some food, but I got lost.
The police frowned as he heard what the little girl had said.
This would be child neglect. I'm sorry, ma'am. We'll take it from here. We're sorry for taking the time here, ma'am.
The police said this as he greeted me and took the little girl away. The girl would be taken into police custody, and my husband or that girl's mother would be contacted, or she would be placed in a child protection facility. Either way, I had already made up my mind to leave my husband. I immediately packed up my belongings and went back to my parents' house. When I told my parents, they were outraged about what had happened and said they were going to complain to my husband right away, but I stopped them. Even though I had talked to the police, I had no proof of my husband cheating on me. So I decided to let it be for once. I informed my husband that my father had broke his back, and that I would be spending some time at my parents' house to take care of my father and then go to work from there. My husband replied saying,
Okay, tell your father to please take care.
I then immediately asked the private investigation agency to investigate about my husband. About a week later, I received the results of the investigation. It seemed that my husband had been completely caught off guard and had been going into his mistress's house, so they were able to quickly gather a lot of evidence. I also got evidence of that little girl going in and out of my husband and his mistress's house, which confirmed that my husband now had another family. I called my husband and my in-laws, saying I had something important to tell them.
What in the world is going on? I can't believe you'd call me up like this. Lisa, what is it that you want to talk about?
My in-laws looked annoyed and my husband looked anxious. Well, in my husband's case, he must have immediately sensed that something was wrong because my parents were glaring at him. I didn't care about their reaction, but spread out on the table the photo evidence of James's affair. This is the evidence that James was having an affair. When I said this, my in-laws were really surprised and shocked, and their eyes widened.
What are you talking about, Lisa? I'm having an affair?
My husband was upset, but when he saw the photo evidence on the table, he fell silent. My parents-in-law are also immensely upset. I have proof, so there's no excuse. Also, I know that you and your mistress have a child together.
What? A child?
Astrid screamed when she heard what I said. I said, "This child is yours, isn't it?" and put the photo evidence on the table. My husband looked at the photo and his face turned completely pale.
No, this child is...
It's pointless to lie here, you know. She came to our house once with the police.
What?
Didn't the police call you to say they found her? That was when you left her home alone for days and went on a trip with your lover.
No way. So with the address written on the driver's license at that time?
Yes, that's right. That girl had trouble finding something to eat and tried to go to the address written on your driver's license, but she ended up getting lost and the police took her into custody. My in-laws looked at my husband with surprised look on their faces. How can you even be a parent, leaving a girl who is only 5 years old by herself for days? You should go to hell. As I said this, I heard a sharp slapping sound. My mother-in-law slapped my husband on the cheek with all her power.
Mom, what the hell are you doing? Not only did you have an affair and betray Lisa, but you also had a child with someone else and abandoned that child. I can't believe that a child like you is my son. You good-for-nothing son. Do you know what you have done?
Astrid yelled at him like that. My husband finally seemed to understand what he had done, and he slumped down, saying in a muffled, weak voice,
I'm sorry. I am very sorry for my stupid son.
Astrid said so along with my father-in-law and apologized to my parents and I.
I will make James accept any kind of alimony. So please request for any compensation and alimony.
Since my parents-in-law said so, I decided to claim for alimony without any hesitation. Later, my husband and I divorced, and I charged him $60,000 in alimony. He was guilty of having a family elsewhere while having a family with me. Furthermore, my husband had intentionally made it difficult for me to have children by having a vasectomy the moment he had a child with his mistress. So, that's why, even after 7 years of marriage with me, there was no way I could get pregnant. When my mother-in-law learned of this fact, she sincerely apologized for having blamed me about not getting pregnant until now. In this way, my husband's guilt was judged to be quite serious, and I was able to receive a substantial amount of alimony. The woman with whom he was having an affair was also to pay me $30,000 in alimony. In addition, it seems that James and his mistress had frequently neglected the little girl, and she was placed in a child care facility. I am sure she would be happier there. My husband's workplace has found out about all of this, and now people around him are giving him the cold shoulder. However, he cannot quit because he has to pay alimony. So, he is working while feeling really ashamed of himself. He has been cut off from his parents and his family as well, and he has no one to rely on. And well, he deserved what he got. I was quite shocked by this incident, but I'm only 34 years old and I'm going to not dwell on this experience, but look forward to a brighter future. For now, I'm going to put all my energy into my work and make it my goal to get good results for a promotion. James was a terrible piece of crap. Even Astrid, who has been bullying Lisa, was so angry at him in the end. At any rate, I'm glad that the little girl is safe. I'm sorry that Lisa had to go through such a hard time. I hope her life will be full of happiness from now on. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.